Hello everyone, Carson here, and in this video, I'm gonna be solving Wordle number 1477 and New York Times Hot Sudoku for July 5th, 2025. So let's get this video started with Wordle number 1477. I'm gonna start with the word slide. Alright, it's got the L and E yellow, so these two letters go somewhere else in this word. It could be an ER ending, then L could go before that. Let's try paler and see what happens. Wow. Okay, so I did predict it correctly. It is an ER ending, so I've placed 4 of the 5 letters. Something ALER. Hmm. Taylor? No, I don't know. Um, could also be this one. Okay, never mind. Wait, what is this? Not T either. Damn. Um, right, so Baylor is today's Wordle answer. Alright, so yeah, I mean, there were quite a lot of uh possibilities for the first letter. Um, so yeah. Anyway, Baylor is today's Wordle answer. The first letter is just mainly what I struggled with. I already, figured out the pattern on my second try. Did kind of get lucky there, based on uh purely the L and E yellow clues on my first guess. Um, it was lucky that I could manage to, get the pattern right away, but, struggle with the first letter. That's the only tricky part. So Baylor is today's Wordle answer. I got it in 4 tries. This is Wordle number 1477. Let's now move on to New York Times Sudoku. Again, today is July 5th, 2025. Let's start the hard difficulty Sudoku for today. Um, These twos force the digit 2 into one of these two cells in block 2, and in block 4, 2 is forced into one of these two cells. But I see something that places the 2 here. This 2 points right, and this 2 points down. So in block 6, the digit 2 is forced into row 4, right? So a hidden 2 here eliminates 2 from this cell, and gets the 2 placed in this cell in block 4. These 5s force the digit 5 into this cell in block 5, and then these 5s point up. Well, these 8s, they point up, this 8 points up, and this 8 points left. So in block 4, the digit 8 is forced into one of these two cells. Okay, these 4s points right. To force the digit 4 into this cell in block 3, then 4 in block 6 is forced into one of these two cells. Alright, well, I do spot a 4-5 pair in block 7. As you can see in block 7, the digits 4 and 5 are missing. But these 4s and 5s force both 4 and 5 into these two cells only. So in order to fit both 4 and 5 into block 7, I have to make these two cells reserved for 4 and 5. So these two cells form the 4-5 pair, which eliminates all other digits from these two cells. In other words, this 4-5 pair makes the other 3 open cells in block 7 a 3-6-7 triple. This cell sees a 3, and this cell sees a 7. Okay, this 9 points down and this 9 points left. So in block 5, the digit 9 is forced into row 6. So there's a hidden 9 here. These 9s points left. And this cell sees another 9. Okay, well, I do notice something quite interesting. So, um, the digits 7 and 8 in block 6 can only go into row 6. So these 3 cells only. As you can see, 7th and 8th here force 7 and 8 into these cells only in block 6. So 2 of these 3 cells would be occupied by 7 or 8. But we also have 4s and 6, right? But okay, what I'm trying to say is that one of 4 or 6 is gonna end up in one of these 2 cells, because I can't exclude both 4 and 6 from these cells. If this cell is not a 6, this cell is not a 4, then 4 and 6 get placed like this, but there's no place for 2 to be in block 6. So, because 2 is forced into one of these 2 cells, I have to keep either 4 or 6 in one of these 2 cells. So, actually, these 5 cells are... how can I say it? Like, okay, how about this? 2, 4, 6, 7, and 8 can only go into these 5 cells. Alright. The digit 2 can only go into one of these 2 cells. 4 can only go into one of these 2 cells. 6 can only go into one of these 2 cells. And 7s and 8s can only go into one of these, 2 of these 3 cells. So, they kind of overlap. 5 digits can only go into 5 cells. 5 certain open cells. So, this kind of, it's not a pair or triple nor quad, it's kind of a quintuple, but I don't know if anyone says that. So in other words, these 2 cells are for the digits 1 and 3 only. Because I have to keep, well, not keep, but 2, 4, 6, 7, and 8. These 5 digits can only go into these 5 cells in block 6. So I have to make these 5 cells reserved for those 5 digits in order to fit all those 5 digits into block 6. So these 5 open cells are for 2, 4, 6, 7, and 8, which eliminates 1 and 3 from these 5 cells, putting 1 and 3 here in these 2 cells. So that's kind of interesting. So these ones point down, and this cell sees another 1. Alright, let's see. This 1-3 pair makes the other 4 open cells in column 7 contain 5, 7, 8, and 9. Well, this cell sees 5, 8, and 9, so it can only be a 7. So we can always double check that again, if I'm going too fast. So this cell cannot contain all it sees 1 and 3 from this pair. It also sees 2 and 4. It sees 5, 6, 8, and 9. So the only digit possible to go into this cell is 7. And keep in mind that in Sudoku puzzles, we cannot leave cells to be empty, because empty cells break the Sudoku puzzle. So to ensure that this cell does not become empty, I have to guarantee that there is a digit available, or not available, but um, at least one digit is possible to be in this cell. And in this case, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, and 9 are all eliminated from this cell, so they all cannot go into this cell, and to avoid the cell from being empty, I have to keep a 7 into this cell. I have to make this cell a 7, because it's the only possible digit which can go into this cell. This is what we call a naked single 7. So a naked single 7 here, because once again, all other digits cannot go into this cell, and 7 is the only possible one. Only possible digits that can go into this cell. Then, in this 367 triple, 7 is forced into this cell, which also places the 3 and 6 like this. To resolve the triple, these 3's point up. Alright, then, 1 and 2 are the missing digits of row 8. Okay, now this cell, it becomes a naked single 8, because it now sees, 1 and 3 from this pair. Oh, well, I could have just said the other way. These 5 cells are for 2, 4, 6, 7, and 8, and this cell now sees 2, 4, 6, and 7, so it can only be an 8. You can also call this a naked single 8. Basically sees 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 9. So now it can only be an 8. Alright, 1, 3 pair here makes the other two open cells in column 7 a 5, 9 pair. Because now that I've placed 7 and 8, 5, 9, 5 and 9 are the other remaining missing digits of column 7. Okay, in row 5, um, 6 is a missing digit, but these two cells see another 6. So in row 5, the digit 6 is forced into one of these two cells only. And because both of them lie in block 5, no other open cells in block 5 can contain a 6, because it's guaranteed that 6 goes into one of these two cells, and no matter which cell 6 ends up in, they're both in block 5, so I can't have another open cell in block 5 containing a 6. Alright, in column 3, 3, 6, and 8 are the missing digits. This cell sees 6, so it's 3 or 8. 3, 6, 8, this cell sees 3, so it's 6 or 8 only. The digit 7 in block 8 is forced into one of these two cells. Sorry, excuse me for my runny nose. Okay, let's think about the missing digits of block 4. Um, 1, 4, 6, 8, and 9 are the missing digits. 1 and 4 can go into these open cells, and 6 can only go into one of these 3 cells. And I've marked 8s and 9s earlier, so there's the markings. Oh, this cell is a naked single 5, so I was just looking at the missing digits of column 1. They are 1, 4, 5, 6, and 9. This cell sees 1, 4, 6, and 9, so it can only be a 5. Double check again if I'm going too fast. This cell cannot contain, or it sees 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So all digits apart from 5 are eliminated from this cell. And to ensure that this cell does not become empty, I have to guarantee that there's at least one digit that can go into this cell, and now that 5 is the only one with a marking left, it has to be a 5. 5 is the only digit that is possible to go into this cell, so to avoid empty cells, I must make this cell a 5, because again, all other digits cannot go into this cell, and 5 is the only possible digits that can go into this cell. So this is a naked single 5. Naked single 5. Okay, which eliminates 5 from this cell and gets the 5 placed in this cell in block 2, and this cell also sees 5 now. So 4, 5 pair resolved in block 7. This 4 comes back up. Sorry for my runny nose again. Okay, the digit 4 in block 8 is forced into one of these two cells. So these two cells form the 4-7 pair. As you can see in block 8, the digits 4 and 7 are missing. These 4s and 7s force both 4 and 7 into these two cells only. So in order to fit both 4 and 7 into block 8, I have to make these two cells reserved for 4 and 7. So these two cells form the 4-7 pair, which eliminates all other digits from these two cells. So this 4-7 pair makes the other three open cells in row 7 contain 2, 3, and 9. 2, 3, 9, 2, 3, 9. This cell sees a 9. Okay, so 4-7 pair cannot include the 2 here. So after eliminating 2 from these two cells, with this 2 pointing right, the digit 2 in block 8 is forced into column 5. So there's a guaranteed 2 in one of these two cells, which both lie in column 5. So a hidden 2 here eliminates 2 from this cell and gets 2 placed in this cell in block 2. Alright, so in row 2, 7 is a missing digit, but these two cells see another 7. So in row 2, the digit 7 is forced into this cell, but this also sees 8. So 3 and 8 this way to complete this row, and this cell now sees 3. So 6 and 3 this way to complete column 3. These 4 cells in block 4 are down to 1, 4, 5, and 9, but this cell sees 1, 4, 8, and 9. But this cell sees 4, 8, and a hidden 9. So it can only be a 1. You can tell by the markings, but I'm just here to double check, you know? This cell sees 4 and, this cell sees 8 and 9, so it can only be a 4, and this cell sees 8, so 8 and 9. Of course, I don't think I made any mistakes with my markings, so you can gladly follow the markings and place them directly without having to double check. That's completely fine, but you know, if you think I'm going too fast, I'm just, slowing it down if you need. And, you know, it's always safe to double check. There's nothing wrong with that. So yeah. 6 for the column, and then 1, 9 pair remaining in this column. 1, 3, 6 triple in row 5. Sorry, I'll be back in a short moment. Alright, so I'm back. Let's continue the ending part of the Sudoku solve. So let's think about the missing digits of block 2. Apart from 8, the other missing digits are 1, 6, and 7. 6 is forced into one of these two cells, and I think I can actually place 6 in column 5 because earlier I've said that in row 5, 6 is forced into one of these two cells, which eliminates 6 from this cell, and these two cells also see another 6. So in column 5, the digit 6 is forced into this cell, Actually, this cell cannot contain a 3. 1, 2, and 9 are the missing digits of column 5, but this cell sees 1 and 2. So this cell can only be a 9. This also sees 1, so 1 and 2 this way to complete the column, which makes this 2, and 1 is forced into this cell. So these two cells are down to 3 and 9, this cell sees 9, so 9 and 3 this way. This cell is now a 5, this a 9, and it makes this cell a 1, this a 9. And 1 is forced into one of these two cells in block 2. This cell is an 8 to complete the block. Down here, these two cells are for 3 and 9, but this cell sees a 9. So 9 and 3 this way. The digit 3 in block 5 is forced into this cell, which makes this 1 and 3. This a 6. Okay, 6 is forced into this cell in block 2. And this cell sees a 1, so 1 and 1 in this cell makes this 4. 7, 4. This 4 points right, making this cell a 4. 7, 6, 2. And 3 is forced into this cell in block 3. 7, 7, and this Sudoku puzzle is complete. Alright, so I finished today's New York Times Hot Sudoku in 21.5 minutes. So I would say this Sudoku puzzle is around the right difficulty. Something could be tricky, so I'll go over the key spots in a quick summary now. So I would say the most tricky part is the 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 quintuple thing going on here. But before that, early on in this Sudoku puzzle, there was the 4, 5 pair in block 7, which helped quite a bit. So 4, 5 pair in block 7 here gave us 3, 6, 7 in the other 3 open cells. And it didn't, I mean, it was not super significant, but it helped a bit. But I would say the most key out of all was this 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 quintuple thing going on here. So it gave us the 1, 3 pair, and helped me find the naked single 7 down here. So yeah. And I think later on there was another naked single 5 up here in block 1. Row to column 1. There was this naked single 5. Yeah. Was there a naked, another naked single? This 8? I forgot, but, yeah, I think so. I feel like, yeah, just, that, of course, there were the pairs. 4, 5 pair was the most important one in block 7. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 quintuple in block 6. And the naked single 7 in block 9, as well as the naked single 5 in block 1, I feel like were the key spots in this Sudoku puzzle. Oh, and also, the 4, 7 pair in block 8 towards the end. I feel like that also helped. So yeah, those were the key spots to me. It could be a bit tricky, but yeah, just the right difficulty. I'm glad I spotted this thing going on. Yeah, it was quite lucky. Alright, if you have any other questions or difficulties, feel free to leave a comment down below. I'll be glad to reply and hopefully this video helped. Today is July 5th, 2025. In this video, I've solved Wordle number 1477 and New York Times Hot Sudoku for today. I'll see you all next time. Bye!